The Door. Episode 1, Part 1. David is sitting alone in a booth at a local cafe in a small town. He is a young man, clean-cut hair, but it has been several days since his last shave, and probably his last bath too. His clothes are disheveled. By his demeanor, it is clear he is depressed. While sipping on his coffee, he has flashbacks to a military mission overseas. He is in a Marine uniform with his unit, bullets flying, and then the order comes to retreat. He yells to his CO that there are still civilians inside the compound. The CO repeats their orders and insists they must move out. David hesitates, and as he looks back at the compound, he sees a woman and a child peeking through the window of one of the buildings. Then he notices hostiles entering that building. Knowing that the death of the two civilians is imminent, he disobeys his orders and moves to engage the enemy entering the building. His CO swears under his breath and moves the unit back in to back up David. David does get into the building and he gets the civilians out to safety, but a member of his unit is killed in the exchange of gunfire. Sometime later, David is in a small room with one table and two chairs. He has been here before, but not on this side of the table. A military commander is standing across the table from David. The commander tosses him a document and then a pen. "Sign it," he says. David looks up, sadness in his eyes, knowing what signing the document means. The commander continues, "Sign it, or you face a court-martial, and that will be followed by a lengthy prison sentence." David hesitates. "This is all I ever wanted to do," he says, the words slipping out of his mouth. The commander leans over the table. "The military has no use for soldiers who can't follow orders. Sign it." David signs the paper. Back at the cafe, David sips his coffee again, his sad memories interrupted when a tall man sits down across from him. He too is young. He is also pale and a little sickly-looking, but clean-shaven, trimmed, and well-dressed. He smiles at David. "I'd heard you've come home," he said. David looks at him, slightly puzzled, not recognizing him. "Michael Parker," he says, seeing no recognition in David's eyes. "We played high school football together for a short while." David tries to smile, finally recognizing him. Clearly they were once acquaintances, but not close friends. David finally speaks. "I didn't recognize you. How have you been?" David tries to smile, just for appearances. It's a wasted effort. Michael chuckles as he responds. "That's the question, isn't it? Let's just say it's not been my year." There is a pause. "Much like yours, I hear." David looks up, a little surprised at his statement, and confused that he would even bring it up. How could this man know about David's troubles? As if reading David's mind, Michael answers, "It's a small town. A local comes back home. People talk. Plus, I know a war correspondent. They told me what happened." Michael leans in towards David slightly. "It sounds like you haven't learned much since high school," he says. David has a flashback to high school. He knows exactly what Michael is referring to. There were 3 bullies beating on another, smaller, student, and David jumps in and interferes. He shoves them off the kid, but takes a beating in the process. "As I recall, that suspension is what cost you from playing in the homecoming game and ultimately got you kicked off the team." David feels he is suffering from too many bad memories and responds to Michael in an irritated tone. "What do you want?" "As odd as this may sound, David, I want to offer you a job." David sits up. "What kind of job?" he asks. It's a little hard to explain over coffee. "I can tell you that it's important." Michael leans a little more forward. "And it's hard, very hard, and I believe you have the perfect skill set for it." David's posture slumps. "I was only a grunt, and I don't have any desire to do mercenary work," he responds. Michael, undeterred, pulls a business card from his jacket, places it on the table, and then pulls a pen from his pocket and writes something on the card. He slides it across the table towards David. "I think they prefer the term private contractors these days, but I'm referring to your other skill sets." Michael then moved to get up. Another man, dressed like a bodyguard, moves in to help him stand up. He is clearly ill. David reaches out and takes the card from the middle of the table. Not even looking up, David replies, "What does it pay?" Michael leans down and lowers his voice. "The payment is measured in lives changed." Michael stands up straight. "If you want to make a difference, come see me." And with that said, Michael pats David on the shoulder and leaves. Nearly 2 weeks pass after that exchange. David had some soul-searching to do. With no better prospects, he hops in an old pickup and drives to the address on the business card. He arrives outside of an old house in the country. He gets out of the truck, double-checks the address on the card, sizes up the house, then walks up to the door and knocks. A young woman opens the door. She says nothing. She just stands there. David stands there. There is an awkward silence. Finally, David says, "I'm not sure I'm in the right place. An old acquaintance of mine, Michael, said he had some work for me." With the mention of Michael's name, the young woman perks up a little. "You knew Michael?" she says. "He gave me this card," he replied. As David shows the card to the woman, her eyes grow wide. Her entire body seems to instantly move with excitable energy. She snatches the card, grabs David by the collar, and drags him inside. She is calling out to someone else in the house as she pulls David inside. "Stan, Stan, you've got to see this," she excitedly says. She drags David into the dining room where there is a man in glasses busy packing boxes. There are boxes everywhere. It looks like they are moving out. Stan is standing over the dining room table with technical equipment in his hand and an open box in front of him. He is clearly packing the equipment into the box. The woman drags David up to the table with one hand while extending the business card to Stan with the other hand, excitement on her face. Stan reaches out and takes the card. He is shocked at what he sees. He looks at the card, looks at David, then back to the card. Looking at the woman, he asks, "Where did you get this?" "He had it, said Michael gave it to him," she replied. Stan holds the card up. "Michael gave you this?" he asks. "About 2 weeks ago. If he's around, I'm sure he can clear this up," David offers. The mood instantly changes. "Michael died 4 days ago," she says. Softly, David says, "I'm sorry, I didn't know. But I did notice that he didn't look well when we met." Another man walks into the room. David surmised he was probably curious what the commotion was all about. He was tall, over 6 feet, large build, has a long graying beard, and is wearing a heavy coat. David was not sure if that fit the description of what this man was wearing. Was that fur? He is a little frightening to look at. Oh well, it doesn't matter, David thought. With a sigh, he says the only thing left to say. I guess that means the job he offered me isn't available anymore. Stan ignores the question and starts taking things back out of the box. He smiles. No, actually, the job is totally available. Let me introduce you to the team. My name is Stan. I run tech. You've met Lisa. She's public relations, and that's Marcus. He's security. David takes them in for a moment. An eclectic little group, to be sure. Then he turns back to Stan. So, what will I do? Well, David, Stan says, handing the business card back to him. You're the boss. We all work for you now. David's eyes get big. He is surprised. He looks at each of them again. They seem perfectly fine with this strange arrangement, almost pleased. But David can't help but wonder exactly what he has gotten himself into. If you like this story and want to hear more, please click the like and subscribe button.